Shalom everyone and Shavua Tov. We are in Parashat Noah in a very special time, and we'll see because Parashat Noah is speaking about this is the second parasha of the Torah. We just started yesterday to read Bereshit, and we're already in Parashat Noah. Now, Parashat Bereshit covered 10 generations of human history, and already in the end of these 10 generations, we hear in the end of the Parashat Bereshit that everything went totally off course. And even God is kind of like, why did I start the whole thing to begin with? It was just a bad idea. Okay, because a human being, his heart is evil from birth. And that's the beginning of Parashat Noach. And Parashat Noach is about the flood. Okay, so when we're looking at Parashat Noach, this is in the book of Genesis, chapter 6, from it is starting with verse 9 in chapter 6. אלה תולדות נוח, נוח איש צדיק תמים היה בדורותיו, ואת האלוהים התהלך נוח. These are the offsprings of Noah. Noah was a righteous person in his generations, and Noah walked with God. And the next verse is, and Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Yefet. And some great commentators are asking, what? This is like grammatically wrong. These are the generations of Noah, should be Shem, Ham, and Yefet. Why the generations of Noah was that he was a righteous man. It's like it doesn't belong. However, what do we know about the story of Noah? The story of Noah can be found in different versions in the ancient Sumerian literature, in Hindu literature, all over the world where you can find different versions of the story of the big flood that destroyed everything, and only one person, Noah, survived to tell the story and to restart humanity. Okay, and the question is, are we here to study about history, something that was so long ago that we don't even know if this is a legend or was it really a true event? Okay, and the question is, of course, if you study Kabbalah, what's in it for me? Now remember, the month of Noah always comes together with the beginning of the month of Cheshvan. And the month of Cheshvan is, how do you say, what did we do during the month of Tishrei? So if you listen to all the study about the month of Tishrei, about Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Simchat Torah, during this month, we were really involved in the big story of remake. It's a big remake of each one of us. The remake of us. It's like we had a big overhaul. The creator was doing this big overall restart so we can have the ability to have another year as another opportunity. Otherwise, we'll be rot inside ourselves and be totally dysfunctional. And this once a year overall of Tishrei is essential for us. Then comes the month of Cheshvan, that Parashat Noach is the beginning of it. And what is the month of Cheshvan is about? You know, when you have a car that went through an overhaul, the first thing is you get the car outside for a test road. So you get the car to drive up the hills and stuff like this just to check out what are the limitations of the car, and were you really able to have a remake, or we have a poorer version of the old thing before and the whole remake did not work. So that's why the month of Cheshvan for most people looks like a big obstacle course. It's not an easy month. Don't expect an easy month, and that's not a month to rest on our laurels. Oh, we worked very hard in the past month. No. You worked very hard during the past month, and now this month you will see if it was successful. If you get upset with the same things, if you get annoyed by the same things, if you get um, controlled by the same problems, so you didn't do anything, which means go for it, because now the obstacle course that is called the year 50, 58, 5781, 5781 has started, and now there's a fight, and you want to be hungry, and that this month is about, and it's starting with getting into your face all the problems of humanity. What's the biggest problem of humanity? We always fall into our addictions to uh, not being honest, exploiting each other, sexual problems, drug issues, alcohol issues, and stuff like this. All of them you can find in Parashat Noah. It's like the whole truth in your face it, and go for it. And you can't face it, you know what? Maybe you're not supposed to stay alive for this year, because it's like the whole year is not for losers. The whole year is a course of excelling, growing, and that's why you are alive every moment. You woke up in the morning today in order to create something that was never here before. Okay, that's what Parashat Noach is about. So, in order to understand what we are talking about, why Noach is in our face, and especially in this year, Noach 2020 or Noach 5781. I would like to read something from the Zohar that is basically kind of describing where are we right now. Okay, I'm reading right now from the Zohar, Parashat Noach, in the Sulam, Rabbi Ashag's commentary, verse 28. And it starts with the verse, Vatishachet haaretz lifnei Elokim. That's from the book of Genesis, and the earth has been corrupted in front of God. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda said, Keivan tichtiv vatishachet haaretz, amai lifnei Elokim. Since it says, and the earth has been corrupted, why do we need to add in front of God? Ella, because if something happens, it's in the presence of God anyway, because God's presence is everywhere. Why do you have to add that? Ella kevan, da'avadu choveyon beitgalya le'eneon bechola kedein lifnei Elokim dichtiv. And the answer is, because they did their sins in the open, in front of everybody. That's why it says in front of God. What are we talking about? We're talking about first 10 generations after Adam. Okay, what's going on? You know how people are. People are like, the same thing like kids, but bigger. What do kids do? They test the borders all the time. They trying to push it. Can I do that? Can I do that? They trying, and then they get burned, and then they try all over again. And if they don't burn immediately, they try all over again. But the basic thing that moves people is the desire to experience. But the problem is that if we are talking about the time of Adam, as the generations move on, they tend to forget there were rules to the system. And they're starting to stretch out and to try everything. If it makes me excited and fulfilled for a moment, it's amazing. It's like the whole of humanity was into a race of achieving the highest levels of fulfillment in the most wild possible way, because the moment you forget about any rules, you just try everything. And what the Zohar continues, Rabbi Yossi adds, אני אומר להפך, I say it's the opposite. ותשחט הארץ לפני אלוקים. מתחילה היה לפני אלוקים, שפירושו שלו חטאו בגלוי. In the beginning, people sinned, but in the hiding. But you know what happens? After they get used to it, they started to do it in the open, without any shame. כי לפני אלוקים עשו מעשיהם ולא לפני בני אדם. Because when it says in front of God, not in front of people. In the beginning, only God could see the sins. On the outside, people still had shame. But you know what happened? People lost shame. They started to behave against all the rules of the universe without any shame about behaving this way. ובשני אופנים אומר הכתוב שחטאו, and so it says it was in both ways. It was sinning in the hiding and sinning in the opening. Let me skip few verses. It goes on later on about that it became kind of a common thing, the cultural thing, to do everything possible against the law just because it feels like. Does that remind you something? You know, you have kind of a passion, sexual, addiction, whatever. In the beginning, you do it in the hiding because it's not nice. It's like you're ashamed. You're in shame that you have such a weakness. And then you're not ashamed anymore. You even have proud. You're proud that you have a weakness like this. I'm angry. I want to kill everyone. I'm not ashamed of it anymore. I'm going out on the street, and I'm showing off my anger, and it's okay. But don't you know that anger is the biggest poison? And basically, angry people poison and destroy themselves first. Yes, they can hurt others, but the biggest victim for the anger is the angry person, because an angry person destroys first and all his soul. All the way, all the levels of the soul are being destroyed. You're right. You're dead right. You're angry, you can't be right. Oh yes, they hurt you, whatever it doesn't. Being angry and being proud about it. And then the Zohar speaks about all the sexual stuff. You have all kinds of sexual whatever. But going outside and showing off to everyone, all your sexual whatever whims and desires, and no shame, and showing it all, what is the result of something like this? What will be the result of something like this? And the Zohar says the result those days was the flood. After the flood, God gave an oath, and his sign is the rainbow, that there won't be another flood. So what comes inside the flood? What comes instead of the flood? Pandemic. The pandemic is coming in the place the flood should have become. What did the pandemic do? Go everybody to your room. Go, and now you have to hide. And you have to hide because only by hiding you can save yourself. Because the moment the flood energy is there, here it is. And the Zohar is speaking about something that is very powerful. The Zohar is speaking about what was the issue about the ark. The moment people create so much negativity, and this negativity is basically around one simple idea. It is called the desire to receive for the self alone, which means I have a whim to feel good. And that whim is that if I steal from other people, I feel good. I steal, and you know what? I'm not even ashamed about it. I'm showing it off. I'm taking other people's money and I'm showing off that I took all of the money because I'm proud of it. One side. Do we have that in our generation? Oh, it's all over. All over, you see companies, you see people, they are proud of the fact that they became rich, not because they were honest. They were rich because they were outsmarting somebody else, and usually a lot of people, governments, societies, the whole planet. And they're proud about it, and they have no shame to show off their richness, although it came in a very unethical way. Again, what about the sexual desires and needs? Whatever sexual desire I have, doesn't matter how crazy it is, I'm not ashamed anymore to do it in the hiding. I'm doing it in a parade in the middle of the street so everybody will see that I'm doing, and I'm proud about it. Did we have it? We have it. Was it like this in the time of the flood? It was exactly the same story. And I can continue the list. We have to the dot the same story all over again. What about idol worshiping? People are trying all kinds of shamanism, all kinds of worshiping of idols that we thought it's over with already. And people starting that all over again. They're trying to unearth Egyptian idols and all kinds of Indian idols and whatever you just name it. Who needs that? Look, what happened to this civilization? They were destroyed. Why? Because what's idol worshiping? It's about worshiping the desire to receive for the self alone. What do you think? It's about praying to a statue? No, that was just a very simplistic uh, symptom. But all the worshiping system were about allowing myself to do stuff just because I want it, abusing myself, abusing my soul, abusing my body, abusing other people's bodies, abusing other people's freedom and property. That was idol worshiping. Why? What do I mean idol worshiping? I do what I feel like, no universal rules of honesty, ethics, values. So what happens when that is finally accumulated to a stage that the planet cannot hold on to it anymore? And then, says the Zohar, comes that aspect that is called nitna hareshut lehashchit. The permission to destroy has been given to the angel of death. Nitna hareshut lehashchit. So how do you defend yourself when that happens? And the Zohar says the first thing, the moment nitna hareshut lehashchit, the angel of death is out there, everywhere, especially where there are crowds. How do you hide? How do you protect yourself? First of all, going to a hiding. What was the ark? Hiding. But everybody could see the ark. No, the ark was closed from all directions. Noah was hidden in the ark, hiding. And the Zohar says, even though you're outside, hide your face. Do you understand that the purpose of the mask is not just that we don't get the virus? The purpose of the mask is that we hide our face, says the Zohar, because you hide your face so you're not exposed to the angel of death that is hanging there in the marketplace where there are crowds. So even if you have to and you must get out of the house, take your mask and cover your face because you need to be in hiding. Is just that enough? No. And here we go to the beginning of the question that we asked. The question was, how come it says these are the generations of the offsprings of Noah? Noah, ish tzaddik tamim haya bedorotav. Noah was a righteous, a complete righteous man in his generations. Should have been, These are the offsprings of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Yefet, his three sons. And the Zohar goes into a whole discourse about what is really the story of continuity. A person usually sees his children as the continuation. These are the fruits of my hard work. But you look at the history of mankind, humanity, and you see a lot of people that were really, really extremely righteous and powerful and positive, and they did not have children. Not everybody had the miracle that Abraham had. So what about them? And the Zohar says it very clearly. Being a righteous person, or what I mean being a righteous person? Tzaddik. Tzaddik means somebody who's connected to the Sephirah of Yesod. And what is the Sephirah of Yesod? The Sephirah of Yesod is that Sephirah, that's emanation of the 10 Sefirot of the Tree of Life that is connecting between the Tree of Life, which means all the upper Sefirot of the emanations coming from the above all the way, all the cascade of lights coming down through all those curtains, and it's shining through the curtains, is coming down. But the only way they can come down and manifest is when they connect to Sfirat Malchut. What is Sfirat Malchut? Here and now. The me issue. I am. Okay, that is Sfirat Malchut. Now, Sfirat Malchut means I need, I want, I desire, I exist, I yearn. All of that stuff, that's about Sfirat Malchut. It's my home, my achievements, my family, my sustenance, all of that, that's Sfirat Malchut. That is the vessel. The problem is like this. Having just a vessel, which means I want and I desire, we learn through the books of the Kabbalists, the moment of the creation of the universe, when we call it the moment of Tzimtzum. It's not exactly the moment of the creation. The creation already happened, as we learned in Parashat Bereshit. There was a night, there was a day, one day, when everything was completely one. All what was created, all the vessels, with all their fulfillments, everything was in one great harmony that our brain cannot understand it. And then we, the vessel, we wanted to shine. So that harmony, that unity, that completeness, endless completeness. Why endless? We can't understand a situation in which there are no limitations. Okay? And there are no separation between one human being and another. That we all see each other as one big I, not us. That the other person is part of my I, and my I is part of his I. It's all one I, not us. One day, Echad. And then everything was broken into pieces. And that was because of the Tzimtzum. The Tzimtzum was the contraction. The light came out of the vessel to create an empty space in which we can say, let there be light, and we can create light out of darkness. That was the whole purpose of the world that we know. Okay, and what does that mean? And the moment of that Tzimtzum, contraction, something huge happened. Massive change in the rules of the universe. And what was that massive change? That massive change said that I desire, that consciousness of I desire became totally illegal. Totally illegal. Why? Because the moment I desire, why do I desire? Just because I want. Just because I feel like doing it. At that moment, I cut myself of the subject of my desire, which is the light. The light is a source of all that is good. What is the energy of the light? The energy of the light is endless sharing, love, compassion, and giving. Okay? Unconditional. And since we know from the law of attraction that similarities attract, the moment we focus on I desire, I become the opposite of the subject of my desire. And therefore, the moment we desire, we cut ourselves off the light of God. The more I want, the more I'm obsessed with my want and my need and my desire. It obsesses me, and it destroys me, and the best understanding is it kills me. This is the essence of death. What is death? I desire. That's death. And that's why it says many places, and Rabbi Ashlag reminds it again, Reshaim bechayehem nikraim metim. Selfish people are dead while they're still looking like they're alive. What does it mean they are dead? They're not connecting to God's light, only to some trickle here and there. But they are dying. Every time they want something, it's a high and then a buy. So maybe you want something so badly, you want to feel high. So you go to a party to chill and to feel great, and you get some, I don't know what, different people have different way to get it. And it's all about me getting high. How long does that high last for? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours. That's a lot. And then comes the morning after. Hours and days of anguish and pain. Why? Because you cut yourself off the light of God, and the result is the anguish and the pain, which is the lack of the emptiness that comes because you went against the rules of the universe. So how can I survive? How can I live instead of dying in installments? From one high to another, from one theft to another, from one drug to another, or another, maybe another, whatever kind of stuff that gets me high, but then I get into days of anguish and anger and upset and blame. How do I change it? The only way is what the Kabbalists call returning light. What is returning light? That whatever I want to achieve for myself, I'm willing to share it with others. So I'm getting a vision and a mission that I want to be really a happy, fulfilled, successful person, but only in one condition. Whatever I want for myself, I want others to enjoy too. Why is that important? Because that's the only way you can, as we said, connect to the light of God without self-destroying yourself. And that is called the returning light. And that is called Sefirat Yesod, or the Tzaddik. What is a Tzaddik? It's somebody that, on one hand, like Noah, like Joseph, think about, was Noah just a nobody? Can you imagine building an ark that size, that magnitude? You need huge desire and huge ability to make a fortune in order to create something of that magnitude. And getting all those animals inside while the whole world is against you. He can't be just somebody, a lowlife, doing nothing with himself. You need to be somebody with a big vessel and ambition. Okay, to stand out in spite of everything else. Remember that. Joseph, he did not become the king of Egypt just out of nothing. The guy had huge ambitions. Huge ambitions. But both of them, Noah and Joseph and other tzaddikim, they were people that did one thing different. If I want to be great, I have to have this greatness shared with a bigger picture, with the whole of humanity, with other people, with my community. You know what? Don't go just to the whole of humanity. Start with your own immediate community. Why? If you're really selfish and you really care about yourself and you really want to be successful, don't be stupid. Simply embrace the law of attraction. The only way you can attract the light of family, fortune, health, whatever it is, being a tzaddik. What is a tzaddik? I have huge ambition, huge desire to achieve, to make a difference. However, I can't do it by just to myself. I need to share with others because that's the only way I can communicate with the endless light without it burning me down and blow me into particles and ashes. And that's what was Noah was doing. And that's why when you create that energy that is called the returning light. And what is returning light again? Returning light means that all what I want for myself, I turn it into wanted it for the sake of others, for me and others. It's not like nullifying myself. No, I just want for the others. No one can survive with in such a place. That's a lie. If you just give everything to others, what's left of you? Emptiness. No, I want it for me and for others. When you do that, you create this huge power. It is called the returning light. That's the energy of the tzaddik. This is the only thing that will stay forever. Somebody can own a house. For how long? Not after you die. You can't bury yourself in your house. It's illegal. After you die, you've been deprived from your house that you paid for it, every penny. You designed it by yourself. Okay? It was legally yours. And what happens when you die? You've been taken away from that house and you go to a cemetery, if you're lucky, and then you have a piece of small land and you buried under it. You can't own that forever, so it's not yours. So what is really yours? Only the returning light. So what is really yours for generations? The returning light, the energy of the tzaddik. So what is a tzaddik? A tzaddik is not just somebody who's honest. There are a lot of people that are honest. Why? They had no other opportunities. The moment the regime will change and they have the opportunity to steal without paying the consequences, they will steal. Why? You need to answer to a higher authority. You need to be connected to a vision, which is the creator himself, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That when you're connected as a covenant to him, and you're not going right or left from his rules, which are the rules of the universe, that will keep you alive forever. Because the energy you generate, that will stay forever. So when you say, these are the generations of Noah, the fact that he was a righteous person, that was his fruits. That was the outcome. That the energy of being righteous. And what does it mean? It's on one hand knowing that you have ambition, you have a desire, you want to achieve, you want to go and get it. On one hand. But then on the other hand, you know that what you see is not what you get. What you see is only a shadow of the upper world. And by your action, you connect the two universes together, the physical and the spiritual. How? When you're making money and you have a vision that is greater than just making money. It's about bringing the light of the creator to this world through your actions, by generosity, compassion, love, spreading God's wisdom to the world. If this is your vision, if this is your covenant, you connect the upper world and the lower world together as one. And you become the conduit between the two universes. This is called Sefirat Yesod. This is called the Tzaddik. This is the sephirah that connects the tree of life to the physical life that we live. It makes your life multi-dimensional. Instead of being just one dimension of me, and only me, and how can I get more, and how can I get more high and excitement, and it's so shallow and so nothing, and more than that, it kills you daily. And then you try to extend. And how do you extend it? First, you do it in the hiding, and then you want to dare even more. So you do it with more people. Then you do it in the front line, and you're proud of your whatever craziness you are. The more crazy you are, you're more proud about it. And now people are jealous, like, wow, look how daring they are. They must be so happy. And then you see people going around with terrible tattoos. It's like the Torah says, do not have any tattoos. Why? You think your house is not yours? Your body is not yours. It's all on a lease. You got the car on a lease. You can paint on the car. No, you have to give the car back with the minimum wear and tear. And whoever learns some Chinese medicine, okay, and you know that your body is wired with it's a most sophisticated machine in the universe. Okay, can you just go into your motherboard of your computer and just drill on it and picture on it and put on it all kinds of stuff? That's what you're doing when you start to paint on your skin. Are you just messing up with all the alignments and all the lines of flow of energy? What do you think you're doing? You're beautiful enough the way God created you. All of that stuff that you see it everywhere, all what the Torah is saying do not do, people just insist of doing it. And once it was in the hiding and now it's on the open. What's the result? The planet is choking. And the plague is only a symptom. You want to protect yourself from the plague, you have to create yourself an ark. And what is the ark? First, Noah showed us what is an ark. The ark is first, the protection is that you create that energy of giving, sharing, and caring, the energy of Sfirat Yesod, connecting. Not, the upper world is not another place to draw energy from. So people want to connect to the mystics, but again, as idol worshiping to get high. So do all kinds of ceremonies to get high. And what's the result? Have you seen what happened to the Egyptians? Pyramids, whatever, idol worshiping. Where is Egypt? In the museums. There are no Egyptians anymore. It's dead. What happened to the Indians, all the witchcraft of the Indians in North America, Central America, South America? Terrible. What happened to you go around, you see every culture that is into idol worshiping, they are destroying themselves from within. The only places that are flourishing are places that people have a commitment to a higher authority. And you see it connected to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Honesty, why do I have to be honest? Because that's how I'm connected to God. I don't need any reasons more than that. Why do I have to be loving? Because that's the way I connect to God. No other excuses. Oh, but not because it's nice, not because it's psychological, because the way to connect to God. Okay? Why should I be clean and not contaminate the world around? Because the Torah says very simple. If you contaminate the world, the hurt you create on other people will come back to you. It's all in the Torah. You just read the book. It's written over there. He can't just go around, spew damage and pain everywhere and expect that it's going to go okay. No, it's coming back at you. So even if you understand or know, the moment you know there's a higher authority, you know there's a whole realm of godliness above you, and you want that your life, the realm of your existence, your home, your body, your relationships, your community is going to reflect the realm of heaven, heaven and earth in one place. That is what makes a tzaddik. It's a connection between the two realms. Only a human being can connect like a wedding, the two realms. And the moment you connect that together, you create, says the Zohar, that power that is called the Ark. The Ark. Think about it. The Ark protected Noah from all the calamity around him and the ones who were with him. Was the Ark a real box of wood? I'm not so sure. Because if you read the Zohar to the detail, if you read even the Torah for it, they've been in the Ark for 1 year. And there was only one window, and the window was closed for most of this year. Can you imagine? Now, think about it. You're not a kid anymore. So what we're talking about is the power of honesty, modesty, dignity, humility that Noah created that protected him from the flood around him, from the plague, from the angel of death roaming around and killing, destroying everything. Who can protect a human being? Only the light of the Creator. You can protect yourself with all kinds of devices. Finally, it's not that that really gets you the protection. Oh, you have to make the effort. You have to build a vessel. Again, don't just sit there, oh, God loves me, everything's going to be okay. No, you have to make the effort. You have to build a vessel. That's what the ark is about. Therefore, when the Israelites are leaving Egypt, who leads the camp? Joseph's coffin. Moses is taking Joseph's coffin out of the Nile. The Egyptians put the coffin in the Nile so the Nile will be blessed. And Moses finds where it is and gets it out because the children of Israel vowed to their brother that they won't leave Egypt without his coffin. They take his coffin. And what is the coffin of Joseph the righteous? It's another ark. Okay, and who is inside the ark? The righteous. And the righteous is also, it's a game of words. The covenant, the Brit. Brit Milah is circumcision, but in Hebrew, where do you do the circumcision? On the male sexual organ. What sphira is the male sexual organ? Yesod. Where is the place people need to have the most powers of self-control in order not to mess up their lives? The sexual organ. Joseph became a tzaddik not when he overcame his grief, that he was taken away from his father's home, and especially by his brothers. He did not become a righteous by doing that, or getting over the grief. No, he became a tzaddik when he refused his master's wife. That he said that she was the sexiest woman walking alive on the planet at that time. And he refused to her. He had all the reasons why to say, what can I do? I can't say no. She owns me. I'm her property. And he said no. Whatever the cause is, and he sat in jail 12 years for that. He didn't care. He never regretted that moment. But I did the right thing. Why do I go to jail? He never had this problem. I did the right thing. No matter what the consequences, he can't do that. He became, so how do you call circumcision in Hebrew? Brit. But Brit does not mean circumcision. Brit in Hebrew means covenant. So it was a tzaddik is a covenant, and the covenant is a tzaddik. What is a covenant? That you have some basic rules that you will die and you not break them. That's a covenant. And also you say Brit Milah. Milah in Hebrew means a word. When you give somebody a word, that's it. You don't break it. That's a tzaddik, that his word you can trust. So now, right, Joseph is the one that the sea opened in front of his coffin. When the Israelites jump into the sea, they jump with Joseph's coffin, and that what breaks the sea in their eyes. And that coffin is being replaced with another ark, the Ark of the Covenant. Again, it's the ark, and inside, what do you have inside the ark? The Word of God, the 2 tablets, and Moses written 5 books of Moses. And in every synagogue, you have an ark. It's made of steel, it's made of wood, it's made of stone, but inside you have the Word of God. Again, it's a place that the heaven kisses the earth. That is the place of Yesod. When we achieve that connection, we achieve protection. Again, you need to do also the physical actions. When there is a plague, don't go outside without a mask. If you have to get outside, you must. Among people, you have, the Zohar says, to cover your face. Yeah, but the mask, to say they can't stop the virus, that's not for the virus. It's not for the virus. You know, immunity is not just about a virus. Nobody knows exactly how it works till today. It's like this virus is going around the world, killing people, maiming other people, maiming the politics and the economy all over the planet, and still the scientists don't know, can't figure out that virus. This virus is only a manifestation of the energy of the angel of death. Some people are affected like this, some people are affected like others. We can say and we can tell. But the first thing is, get yourself the Ark of the Covenant. Build yourself the Ark. Hide inside. Don't get out if you don't have to. Don't hang out outside people when you don't have to. And if you have to cover your face. Why? The angel of death has the permission to kill righteous and people and evil people at once. Don't get out of that thinking that you can, oh, but I'm okay. No, you have to cover yourself. And why? Because basically, what was the sin? That everything was in the open. And how do you first starting to fix the sin? Cover. First cover. And what is the other aspect of the cover is go within. Go within, because the connection to the world beyond is not visible. This is your answer. This is the healing. This is the healing for the problem. When humanity is starting to reach inside to the light of God, not on the opening. It's not there where everybody can see. So everything was about the seeing. You show off on Facebook, you show off everywhere, on Instagram, and all of that. It's all about showing off what? Nothing, emptiness. So finding our spirituality, finding our connection to the tree of life. This is the healing that humanity needs to go, especially this year. And that's why we are here in Parashat Noah, to warn ourselves, to protect ourselves, to learn what is a real protection, how it's really made of. Thank you, and have a great week and a great year.
Amazing.